that every 4 years at the election, the interest rates always seem to go down a little bit because whoever's outgoing wants to make things look better. As long as I've been in business, the rates have always gone down every 4 years.
Right now, we're in a critical turning point in this October fall real estate market as mortgage rates are dropping, and for buyers, it could be the most crucial moment to either act right now or to wait. Decisions made today could significantly alter your financial future if you're a buyer. So as we move into the fall season right now, mortgage rates have dropped to 5.99% for conventional and 5.625 for FHA, the lowest since 2023. And we're seeing a lot of changes in buyer behavior and their affordability and inventory. But what does this really mean for those considering a home purchase or for homeowners thinking to refinance? So the question is, with growing inventory and these subtle rate cuts from the Fed and potential for further drops, could buyers lock in now? Should they do that? Or should they gamble on future decreases? And how will these shifting dynamics impact the broader market as we head into 2025? So I'm going to dive into these pivotal changes today with Crista Lowrie from First Citizens Community Bank. She's our go-to mortgage consultant now for 21 years. She's a seasoned mortgage expert, and she is here to help you navigate this uncertain landscape. Let's get to it. I'm excited today to be on this podcast with Crista Lowrie from First Citizens Community Bank. Woo! She's been in business 30 years, top producer. She's a force to be reckoned with. This woman is hot. I mean, she will get you a mortgage if she can. She will definitely tell you that she cannot if she cannot. She's not going to tell you which one to hear. And that kind of goes with our MO as well. That's why we kind of got together. We've been together for almost 20 years doing this mortgage business together. And our buyers, when they come back, they always say, where's that gal? Where's that girl? I want to have her as my mortgage lender. So real excited what's going on. A lot of people want to know, they're listening right now, what the heck is going on? It's October coming up here and the rates have just been cut and everyone's wondering what's happening. So let's start out with what right now that you think that with this rate cut, buyers are, the impact. Like what is the impact? What are they feeling out there? What's the motion and the motion out there at the real estate world or mortgage world?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for having me. Like you said, we've been doing business for 20, I think it's even over 20 years. Our clients keep coming back and coming back, and we are the real deal. We also give real information. So if you can't buy now, we're going to help you be able to buy down the line. And that's the important thing is having someone close to you that can help you finally get to the finish line, whenever that's going to be. So yeah, the big news right now is that the interest rates have gone down. And how much have they gone down? They've gone down about 1% since January of 2024. This is September of 2024. A 1% reduction is huge. It's a huge amount of money for buyers. Back in January, the interest rates were about 6.99% for 0 points on a purchase, conventional loan. Some of the government loans might have been a little bit lower, but just to compare conventional. Currently today, we can get a 5.99 with 0 points.
Wow.
So what does that do to the buyer? That moves up the affordability of what they can afford. So on the same $250,000 house, if you were going to buy at the beginning of the year where the interest rates were 6.99%, that would have been a payment of $1,661. Right now today, if you buy that same house and the rate's 5.99, the payment is $1,497. That means that payments have gone down $164 for the same $250,000 mortgage. So how much does that come out to in mortgage dollars? It's anywhere from $25,000 to $30,000 more for the same payment. So that's exciting news.
Bring somebody to another house. It could be the house that only had 1.5 baths now has 2.5 baths. Right. That extra.
So I would say that is the most major thing that I'm seeing right now with the reduction in the interest rates. It's also taking people that have maybe been on the fence because they've been a little bit nervous to pay the higher interest rates. Also, they couldn't find the house that they wanted to find. Now we have some more buying power, which is huge. It's definitely a big
buying power. Yeah, it's huge, especially when I'm seeing that, and you said it a little bit earlier, but I live more on this, is that the prices of homes were, oh, this big crash we're going to have, and they're going down, all the fake news and everything, and now it's not happening. So are buyers getting a little discouraged, or do you see them coming out and crying on the phone with you, or are they excited, but they're also fear? What's their level of temperature level?
First, I want to say that nobody cries on the phone with me because I'm happy, and I'm trying to put people in a happy mood and get them a house. So there's no crying in mortgages over here with us. But people are anxious to find a house. There's some people that have been searching for a year, 2 years. They put in multiple offers, and they kind of get a little discouraged because their offers keep getting beat out. So when something like this happens where the rates go down, now that buyer might have a chance to offer a little bit more than they were able to offer before. And so I have been noticing that a lot more people are coming out of the woodwork. People that I had qualified earlier in the year are starting to come back because they're excited to hear about the interest rates dropping. So it's all positive.
It's all positive, right? Because I just put a listing on the market for $350 in East Norriton, and $350 is low, and the average price range in more of Montgomery County is more like $400 or $420. So it was a ranch, no basement, but still, when we didn't have as many people going over, but the amount of people just waiting outside the door, I just felt like it was 2020 all over again. You know, it just was another surge of buyers who really want to get a house, and you know, really want to take away the fear of never owning a home. One of my buyers said, "I don't think I'll ever own a home, Diane." Like, no, this is going to happen for you. So,
I mean,
so you save a lot of money.
Yeah, half of, I just want to say, of working with people to buy a house is staying positive. The loan officer and the agent have to stay positive. There are a lot of negative agents out there, a lot of negative loan officers out there, unfortunately. And when we're negative, it drives the people down, and then they become negative and frustrated. And so we don't want anyone working with us to ever have a negative experience. It's always positive. And this is why people keep coming back to us year after year, because we're trying to give you 100% service every single time.
Right. And at the same time, the honesty is there. Because I'll tell people, well, this is what you have to do to buy a house. And I know it, but you better talk to Crista, and you say the same thing.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I'm going to go somewhere else. And they just, they come back. They also come back. They don't want to hear the negative thing. So they say out there that the inventory is rising. And I think when they say that, it's the United States. And we're not like everybody else over here. We're a Quaker state. You know, nothing really goes up high or down too low. But maybe in California, I have tons of friends in there, realtors, who are saying the prices of homes are starting to go up. But prices of homes are starting to come down. But I don't see the inventory going up. I see prices going down. How about you with doing all the mortgages you do?
No, I don't see anything going down at all. And the people that are offering under market value, under asking price, they're not getting the offers accepted. They are not getting them accepted. And that's why I have to, and you also have to educate these people about our market. Our market is not in bad shape. There's just, what's been happening is there's a lot of people that have lower interest rates. They don't want to leave their interest rates, so they are staying in their house. That's coming to the end soon. It's been a couple years since the 3% rates have been around, and people are saying, I'm never going to leave this house. But that's not realistic. People have to leave their house because people are going to die. People are going to get divorced. You maxed out your credit cards, and you have to get out of the mortgage you're in for whatever reason, or sell your house. So those things are going to happen, but it's been people dragging along all this time. They're finally saying, okay, let's go. And so there will be more houses on the market. There's adult children that are anywhere from 22 to 30 years old, still living at home with their parents. And they're like, I got to get out, get me a house as soon as possible. And so we're seeing a lot more people come through. You know, as far as this goes, I compared last year to this year for how many people have been calling me in a month. And last year, the interest rates were actually high as well. On average, I have about 43 to 45 people a month inquiring to buy a house. That's a fairly decent number when I'm only one person out there who are dealing with buyers. So you have all the other companies who, people go online and that kind of thing. But for me to have 45 people a month calling to buy a house, that's a lot of people. So in a year, you're talking hundreds of people that want to buy a house. And in certain areas, there's not that many houses to be bought. So Diane is actively working to find listings for people to sell their house. So that some of these buyers can get in and get their home. But last year and this year, I averaged about the same, 45 people a month trying to buy a house. And last year, rates were even higher. So that goes to show you that the market for buyers is out there. Doesn't matter what the interest rates are. It makes it more affordable, and people can get more of a house when the interest rates are lower. But people always have to buy houses. So no matter what the interest rates are, they're going to come and buy a house. And we want to be the ones to help you.
Yeah. Well, every time I get a listing, I post it. For example, I go out to the house and I say, I'm not allowed to say the address until it's in the MLS. And I go a little shopping. Like, I'm here over at this such and such street, and I'm looking. And then I have like 6 or 7 realtors and friends of mine go, where's the house? Yeah. Because there's nothing out there, and that's one way that we get our listings out there before something to get people to be interested and see what the interest level is by going on social media ahead of time and doing a little bit more coming soon than the average realtor just does. It just puts a sign up. And we're doing this weeks in advance. I list with my sellers 6 months to a year in advance, so I have a nice chunk change of homes that are coming on the market, and they're the ones that I tell my buyers, here's ones that are coming on. These are private listings until they go on. So we do a lot of that.
That's the benefit of working with someone like you, which is why the buyers need to understand that they need to be dealing with someone who is a full-time agent. There's so many agents out there that are part-time right now, so many that are part-time, and they can't put 100% into being your agent, which is why hiring the professionals is always the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for that. And also I find that 40% of the homes right now are baby boomer homes. They call it like the empty nester baby boomers, and they are not moving. I've done seminars for the last, 15 years, and I have this big pool. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Cocoon, where all the elderly people were sitting in a big pool waiting to get young, in this pool of water. And that's what they're all just sitting there waiting for something to happen. And they stopped. They were going to sell 2020, 21. I had hundreds of them want to do that. And then they just say, Diane, we're just going to stay now. We're going to stay put. Our kids move back with us.
Right.
It's the other way around for the sellers. They're like, they want their kids out so they can move on.
You know what, though? That only lasts for so long, though, because, a husband and a wife moving back with their parents and they have children, they eventually want their privacy. And that's when they end up calling and saying, I got to, it's time for me to move on. And I've been seeing a lot of that this year, more than other years, for sure.
Also, we're seeing a lot of the, if you have a house with an in-law suite, that is just selling for so much more, because that's when the parents can actually live there and not interrupt.
And you can have your privacy, too. And they can have their privacy. So that's definitely, those I think are always hot.
So, talking about the baby boomers, I remember Barbara Corcoran at the beginning of the year, she said, if the rates get down to 5, definitely to 5, there's going to be a massive influx of homes coming on the market. Well, it's 5.99. Let's see if she's right. I mean, what is your feeling about on that, and what will change the demand for buyers? She says that the prices of homes will go up another 20%. Have you seen that out there? Are they still hot?
I think it's hot. I think it's hot. Honestly, it's every deal I've done this year is going for a little bit over, especially in surrounding counties to Philadelphia. And as soon as rates go down and people decide that they're going to start to move, or parents are going to go into assisted living, or whatever the situation is, buyers are going to be the same buyers that have been around. Like I said, hundreds of people in a year for me are coming to buy a house and they can't find one. So I think, when you have all this influx of people trying to find houses, the values are going to go up. They're not going down. There's no crash coming. Everybody that's waiting for it, it's not coming. The foreclosures are not coming back. Foreclosures are down so much. They're barely there. And,
Yeah.
it's just the values are going to keep going up. So what I tell people is it's best to buy the soonest you can. As soon as you can qualify to buy something, buy right then. It doesn't matter what the rate is. It doesn't matter if you think the house price might be a little too much. If I look at all the homes that I've bought over the last 25 years, every single one of them has gone up in value. Some of them have doubled in value. I'm sure Diane, you would say the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's always best to buy right now.
Yep, because it will just keep going up, and there's no crack. A lot of doomsdayers on YouTube, just the fake news things going on. Although I know with election coming up, you always see things looking really great, so people will, elect that party and it's keeping the rates up. But who knows what's going to happen with that? And that's something we won't talk about on this call today.
No, but I do want to say, this is not political though, that every 4 years at the election, the interest rates always seem to go down a little bit because whoever's outgoing, wants to make things look better. Obviously, that's as long as I've been in business, the rates have always gone down every 4 years. So I was pretty much expecting this. And all my clients last year, I said, hey, you can refinance next year, 18 months from now. And so we've been expecting that they're going to come down. They may come down a little bit further. I mean, inflation has to be in check. But that's not going to change the fact that there's still so many people that need homes. They need housing. And when you talk about housing and rent, the options sometimes are renting or buying. And in a lot of cases, renting actually costs more than it would be to buy a house. If you're going to pay $2,400 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, you might be able to buy a house for cheaper. And the money out of pocket's about the same. Landlords I just saw are asking for first month, last month, and security. That's 3 months of the rent. That's a down payment right there for a lot of people to buy a house.
And the only thing left is their credit, and that's why they should call you a year or two in advance to work on that, so you can help them get it down to a number that they can afford. Because basically the FHA and VA loans are out the door. I just had one. I'm doing one right now, PHFA, on one of my listings, and it's like, I haven't had one of these in a long time.
I do a lot of those though. I'm like number one for the northeastern area for Pennsylvania for the PHFA loans, because their loans are great. The interest rates are low, and there's grant money and down payment assistance. So it's a way for these buyers to get in these homes where they may not normally been able to.
So let's talk about that, right? What is the rate for these PHFA loans? What are some of the low cost loans and some of the particulars about these grant money that's still out there?
Sure. So for, like I said, the interest rate's about 5.99 today for a conventional loan with 0 points. Which is good. That's someone that's got good credit, maybe like a 750 credit score, something like that. And not everyone's going to fall into that category. So for the government loans, for the people that are first-time home buyers, we can put them in an FHA loan that's, say, 5.625% with 0 points and 6% and 0 points for conventional. Those are awesome rates. Those are really awesome rates. And we can even pair those low rate programs with grant money. This year there was the First Front Door grant, which is $15,000, and there was also the Keys to Equity grant, which was $20,000. And once you get approved for that, you have 6 months to buy a house. So that opened up on April 16th and it closed on April 16th. There was that many people that wanted the money. I think I reserved 80 people for that. It was like $1.6 million of free money. Next year, my goal is like 200 people for sure. So if you're not buying this year, get on the wait list for next year, because we got to be locked and loaded, ready to go as soon as they release that money is going to be out. So if you're worried about your credit, you're not sure, it's not too soon to start now.
Right, so that if somebody went, 80 some people, you said how many people you try to qualify for this program. How many of them actually found a house within 6 months?
Well, so I still have people that are looking for them because these grants don't expire
Oh, 6
in
months.
November.
To November, right?
And then I can extend them if necessary. So,
Okay, good. Okay.
yeah, so just about almost all the people that I got approved for that are under contract or have
Okay.
already closed.
Because
Nobody's going to pass up 20,000
No,
times.
no, it's not. But I know when I get a listing, I'm getting so many cash buyers and 20% down. I haven't done a PHFA on my own particular listings for
Right.
a long time. So I was just wondering, like, who's actually, I mean, are these home sellers that maybe their homes were priced a little high, there wasn't as many people
Well,
on, or homes that weren't in a great neighborhood, or
no,
not
these
great
are
neighborhood, but
just
great area?
no. It's not that. It's just a different category of buyers, right?
Oh, okay.
So, the first time buyers are over here, they need all the assistance. It doesn't matter which home it is. If they
Okay.
qualify for 275 or 300, that's that price of a home. You may not have listings that are that price. In the
That's
4 to 900,000 or even a million, you have the second time, the people that are selling their first house, buying their next house, they already have their down payment or they have cash or whatever the situation is. And we still do those people. We have great rates for those people. We have a portfolio program. We have a doctor loan. I cater to the higher end loan amounts just as much. But the first time buyers, they need a little like push, a little bump, a little help in order to get them in. And then they eventually become second time home buyers. And, they buy a beach house and then they buy a mountain house. And so it all starts somewhere and someone has to help the first time people to get into something. So I love doing that and I'm great at it.
You are
So,
really good at it. I mean, I haven't had anybody comes off the phone call that says that, oh, wow, I can see why you two work together, because you're both like high energy and want
yeah,
to make it happen for them. Like, we really, really want it to happen, and that shows
yeah,
our passion for what we do, and also that we want them to find a house. And it's not about making a commission check at all. I mean,
no,
we're not in this business for that.
no,
It does pay our bills, but at the same time, it's
right.
not the only reason. I mean, I've been in business 31 years. I'm 64. I don't plan on going anywhere for a while, and
Thank God. No, you and I
right,
have the
I
same
know.
philosophy. We always have had
Yeah,
the same philosophy that,
right.
we're not like that at all. So we
Yeah,
really want to get the best for people. And if you really are truly honest about that, and that's why people refer all the people that they do, and they come back and, they have a house question or a finance question, they're calling us because we are their professional advisors for a lot of things. We're the
for life.
professional and people know it.
Yeah, I mean, this year I had talk about what's selling and people who are passing away. I've done probate,
Yep.
divorce, and people going into nursing homes. All my business this year was referral, 100%.
Yeah.
10% buyers, because I do have a whole buying team, but who handles the buyers. But of my personal business, only 10%, but 90% listings. So this is where we get all this
We need
extra
listings.
snuff. Yeah, I have the listings, and I always call you. I have a buyer for my listing. I have a buyer for my listing.
Yeah.
Can you close it for them? And it's always about like, oh, is there somebody else coming in cash? It's not always cash, guys. Cash isn't always king. Don't
No.
be afraid of putting an offer in, because you have other terms. Like, are you willing to give the seller a rent back for a month to get them, so they can get to their new house without having to worry about doing a double move? Are you willing to give them the right settlement date? Maybe you need a long settlement date.
Right.
Sometimes it's not always about the price for these things. Yeah, this has been it's a great market. I'm excited about it. Do you have anything, any other?
Just for the people that already own a house that, are the ones that said, I'm never giving up my 3% interest rate. There's
Yeah,
no
I hear
way.
that all the day. Every day I hear that.
But that can't last forever. That's going to have to change at some point, and there are reasons to refinance. So I just wanted to go over a few of
Good.
them.
Yeah, let's do that.
What
Talk
I've been
about
seeing
refinance. Good.
recently. So people are taking cash out of their house for home improvements, for decks, for additions, for things like that. I've done a couple of them recently. A big one, really big, especially the last 2 months, is I have people that are refinancing their primary residence to take the cash out to buy investment properties.
Wow.
So I don't even 10 or more people right now searching for rental properties because they want to be a landlord. So you take $100,000 out of your house, you can buy 2 rental properties. Real estate's where to be. We can remove the private mortgage insurance if you have an FHA loan, because if you have an FHA loan that was originated after 2010, your PMI is never going to go away. So you actually have to physically refinance to remove it. There are people that want to reduce their term, maybe go to a 15-year. We could do that. Divorce is always a big one. There's always people getting divorced, and one party has to pay the other party. And sometimes the house gets sold, and sometimes the house is kept, and the other person has to pay off the other one. So we do that. To pay off credit cards, a lot of people have been living off credit cards the last couple of years with the groceries being so expensive, gas has been so expensive. We are able to refinance and pay that debt off. We can pay off home equity lines of credit with that. So those are just a few reasons why people are refinancing, you know, and you know what? I will never sell something I don't think is good for you. And that's why you're going to talk to me. We're going to go through it, and I'm going to say, you know what? I think you might wait. This might be a good idea to wait, or I'm going to say it's great for you. We should do it. So you're always going to get an honest answer. Diane will give you an honest answer too.
Yes.
We're not trying to get rich doing bad business. We're not.
No.
We're honest. You know, if you're not qualified to buy right now, we're going to help you figure out how you can buy. Whenever you deal with me and you can't buy right now, I'll give you a target date, and we're going to hold each other accountable to help you buy down the line, and not just forget about you, and then you're stuck not knowing what to do. That's not what happens over here. This is not what we do.
Wow, that was a lot of information. I know we're going to get a lot of hits on this one because buyers will want to know what the heck is going on, and you've given them all the information that they need. And I'll always give you a number out, which you know. But what if there's somebody watching this that maybe isn't using me as their realtor, and they want to get a hold of you to understand what's going on with what they can do for them, what you could do for them?
Yeah,
Contact
absolutely.
information.
As I should say, hashtag call Crista. My name is at the bottom. It's Crista Lowrie. I am with First Citizens Community Bank. I am Vice President and Senior Loan Officer, and my information will be at the bottom of the screen.
And also we have, which we're going to put here at the bottom of the screen, is a link.
Yes.
Mortgagewithkrista.com. You can
Please
go
visit.
there.
Yeah, please visit at any
and
time.
let them know. Yeah, let them know who sent you, because then she'll know that, okay, it was from the call, or you know, things like that. Okay, so it's really, really important for Crista to know that as well. So mortgagewithkrista.com. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Have a great day.